Here's the funny thing. I talked to 3 different Apple people who work in the store, and all 3 of them told me the same thing, which is they think that that keyboard sucks too. A few weeks ago, I went off on a total rant about the MacBook Pro keyboard. You can watch that video right here. Check it out, please. Then come back. I'll wait. Got it? Good. So I don't like that keyboard, that's for sure. But it's not that I didn't try other keyboards. I did. The first thing I did once I got this MacBook Pro and I used the keyboard was I went out and I thought, all right, maybe it's just me. I'll get this thing right here. This is Apple's Magic keyboard. Magic. The only thing magic about this keyboard is how light it is. The box that came with this MacBook Pro, it's heavier than the Magic keyboard. But the same problem exists. When you're typing on it, it's just not a comfortable experience. So that didn't work for me either. So what do you do in a situation like this? Sometimes you have to go back to the past. When things were made differently, when things were stronger and things were heavier. Sometimes you even have to go back to 1984. Remember that? And so I went back to 1984 and I found the best keyboard you could ever get and hook up to your MacBook Pro. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present to you the Model M keyboard from 1984. Check this out. So it looks like it was copyrighted in 1984, but this thing was actually put together in 1988. It's still the 80s, right? A couple things about this keyboard that just make it so awesome. The key travel. It just feels better. There's something about these keys. When you press down on them, they register. You don't have to press them all the way down for them to register. On the newer computers like this one right here, you actually have to press down all the way. And even then, you're constantly making mistakes. Again, check out the rant video. This keyboard has just an amazing feel to it. It is incredible. And these keys, listen, I don't know if you can hear this. Can you hear that? Clickety-clack. It just is solid. It is a solid keyboard. Another thing that's inside this keyboard that's absolutely incredible is a 1.2 solid steel plate. And it sits in such an angle that it raises the keys to just a perfect typing position for you. Now, here's the funny thing about it. When I say that this keyboard is heavy, it is heavy. This thing is unbelievably heavy. I mean, this is like Winnebago heavy. It is as heavy as the state of Wyoming heavy. Now, this keyboard here, this is as light as a feather. Now, I don't have a scale. I can't like tell you, some YouTube review videos will give you exact specs. I don't do exact specs. I tell you my overall impression. And I'm telling you, this thing is as heavy as. And this is not something you're probably going to want to bring on an airplane, sitting in coach. If you put this on the seat back in front of you in coach, the person sitting in front of you is going to go dunk back, right? So, I mean, check this out. This keyboard right here, you know what? Let's do an audio test. Maybe we can do that. Okay, listen. Okay, that's the Magic keyboard. Here's the IBM. Okay, did you hear the difference? This thing is heavy, all right? So, you can't just buy this thing and plug it right into your MacBook Pro, because guess what, folks? They didn't have USB back in 1984 or 1988 for that matter, really. I mean, maybe they did, they were working on, I don't know. Don't get nitpicky. The point is it doesn't have a USB connector on it. So when you buy one of these keyboards, obviously you're buying it used, and it will come with what's called a PS2 connector. This is not PlayStation 2, kids. It's called a PS2 connector. It looks like this. This used to be on all PCs, right, when they first came out, and you plug the keyboard into purple, and you plug the mouse into green. But I guarantee you, there is no model MacBook Pro Retina that has that kind of connector, a PS2, so you need to convert it. And you gotta basically get yourself one of these things. And these are basically converters, and they convert the PS2 to USB. I will put the links below where you can pick up these. They're not that expensive, but you do need to have one. And because it's 2019, and because it's MacBook, and because it's Apple, you gotta have one of these dongle things. So what you do is you go out of this converter, the USB to PS2 converter, into the dongle. So you got to put it into the dongle, then that is USB-C, which goes into the MacBook Pro. So once again, you go out of 1984 into this thing, into this little thing right here to get it into the MacBook Pro. Okay, let's hook this IBM Model M keyboard from 1988 to this MacBook Pro Retina 2019 computer. I have this little cable right here. This comes PS2 out. I have my converter. I'm going to plug it into here. There we go. Plug it into that, like that. And now we plug it into the MacBook Pro. Now, sometimes when you plug it in, you're gonna get this dialog box that says, your keyboard cannot be identified, blah, blah, blah. Just click continue, don't worry about that. So clicking continue. And then it says you need to identify your keyboard. You gotta identify it. So what you wanna do is press the button next to the shift, okay? Not a problem. That happens to be the Z as in zebra key. I'm gonna do that now. Okay, now it wants the other one. That's that other one next to the other shift key, which is the question mark. Okay, and then you just accept the default. So then I just go ahead and I click on United States, done. That's it. It's now connected. Let's try it out. How cool is that? So who is this for? This is for someone who does a lot of writing, who works either at a home office or perhaps a location at work where they have their workstation. It's not really meant to be mobile. You know, there's something to be said about how things used to be made. I mean, you know, I get that we want things smaller, and I get that we want things more compact and more mobile. You can't make the human hands any smaller. And when it comes to keyboards, there is some point at which you have to stop and say, it's okay to make this keyboard, this laptop here, it's okay to make this laptop, you know, a millimeter thicker so that the keys can have the proper travel and have the proper spacing. I hope that Apple goes back to that. But if they don't, and their butterfly whatever keyboards are here to stay, this is an option to you. And I believe this is the single best keyboard you can put on your MacBook Pro today. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. I do have other videos. To be notified about them, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you as a subscriber. I'm just building this YouTube channel. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet, so I would love it if you would subscribe. So thank you very much, and I'll see you in another video.